Power on.
No one told you that.
Space, a final frontier. It's 5 years.
Again. Let's begin.
Happy Monday, everybody. You're listening to Now Trending Live on Now Trending Radio. It is Monday, July 2nd, and we are having, today is our pre-4th of July holiday celebration. Didn't we do it last year too? Last year I was more festive. Even had alcoholic beverages in here. We did. But were we here? Were we here or? We were still in Doral. You
Yes.
guys even recall, or was it that great of a party that day?
I don't really remember it. Maybe it was that good.
I guess so.
So again, you're listening to Now Trending Live right here on Now Trending Radio. I am your host, Joy Canizero, and today, joining me always, we have the lovely Siobhan. Siobhan K., how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good.
How's it going?
Pretty well.
Sorry, I'm sure you know me. I'm
Yep,
trying
you're getting
to get
distracted already.
Camera shot.
Swabbing us.
Yeah.
I do. Say hi to the camera. Chris Metal, say hi to the
Hey.
camera. And then we have our lovely Chris Metal as well. How
Hello,
are you doing,
everybody.
Chris Metal? Where else can we find you when
Still
you're not
vertical.
here?
ChrisMetalRadio.com and any live heavy metal show in the area.
Oh, yeah?
Poison last night
Oh,
in
yeah?
Hollywood, yeah.
That means you're running on how much sleep?
An hour and a half.
There you go.
Is that what the problem is today?
No, these are normal problems.
No.
Yes, there are. And also, we have the lovely producer, Drew.
Oh, lovely Drew.
Drew
Thank you.
Dawkins.
Thank you. So kind.
And joining us, we have special guest, Foreign Fresh. Foreign Fresh. Drew, say hello over in this camera. Drew, give it to us.
Oh, yes. Hey,
You're
how
over
are you?
here. You're over here. So again, we're going to have Foreign Fresh. He's a musical artist who's joining us today. You're also a producer. What is all your titles? Give it to us.
Writer, songwriter, producer, really music artist, entrepreneur,
There you go. You see? Absolutely.
man of the community.
There you go. And you were born and raised in New York. And how long have you been down here in Florida?
I've been here a couple years now, maybe almost a decade, back and forth,
Gotcha.
all over Florida.
Okay, so shortly after we get through with our news, we're going to go ahead and get more information on projects that you're currently working on.
Of course.
You've got music coming out. You've got a book coming out.
Correct.
Okay.
It's called I Came to Change the Culture.
Okay, because you're planning to make changes, right?
Of course. Somebody got to lead the youth.
I agree. That's one thing that we definitely have to agree with, especially as parents. Drew, don't you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, before I make Siobhan nuts, hold on one second here.
Too late.
You're making me nuts because you're not taking the mic with you.
Because I'm not?
You're
What?
not taking the mic with you.
Oh, sorry. Usually that's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
So guess what day it is, guys?
Tuesday, Monday.
That it's also Freedom from Fear of Speaking Day. Anybody in the room have a fear of speaking?
Not really.
Yes.
Not anymore.
What
Not anymore.
about in front of the camera?
Yes.
See, there's Chris. What about you in front of the camera?
Sure, Joy. Love it.
Yeah, as I have cameras on everyone.
I have a
But
face
I'm
for
saying
radio.
like public speaking, getting
No,
up,
I mean,
and
Nah.
you get over it. It's just like any other hurdle. You have to get over it.
right. Remember when we first started broadcasting school?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Weren't you when they brought out that big television camera?
Then it became
Right?
different. Yeah.
You were getting all warm, sweaty, like your heart started beating, and we were like, "Oh no, they're gonna make us stand in front of that camera with a microphone and actually
talk.
speak."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Your break-in scenario you had to do.
Today's
Oh,
also
man.
right. Yeah, the break-in scenario. Today's also I Forgot Day.
I forgot what.
Exactly.
I don't remember.
That's my day. Today's Made in the USA Day. It's
Hey.
also World Sports Journalist Day.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah. See, Chris, Drew,
It's our day.
when you guys do your sports,
A lot going
It's
on.
your
So
day.
day.
We'll acknowledge that. We'll make sure we talk about that.
Yay.
Make sure you do. And it's also World UFO Day today.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
So if anyone's
sweet.
out there and seen UFOs, anybody ever think they've seen a UFO before?
We all
I
have.
think so.
Yeah.
They're out
He
there.
just don't admit it.
Uh-huh.
Nobody will ever
Nobody believe
us.
you, right?
No one's gonna believe us,
No
man.
way.
Nah, I didn't see anything.
They might hit you with the Men in Black on thing.
Right.
Who you think you saw?
But has anyone ever seen something just in the sky that you've just never seen before? Like I've seen something one time when I went to the Hard Rock Hotel. I mean, it looked like a
I bet you
huge
have.
fireball across the sky.
Was
This
that-
is before I was drinking.
Okay, I was
before
gonna make sure we
just
clear that up.
Entered the parking lot.
Were you
and,
thinking before you got to the parking lot?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
What's in your
Okay.
cup?
Not at all.
Yeah, right.
Siobhan, you ever say anything odd that you've questioned? Like you're on the West Coast. Have you ever been by Area 51? Like have you ever
No.
First of all, it's not like you
No.
drive by it.
I know I'm just saying like explore it like
Just because you're on the West Coast doesn't mean
I
it's
went
like
on the
everybody's
tour.
there.
No. But today, I don't think it was something extraterrestrial, but I did see lightning today and there were no clouds. So that was really weird. I saw lightning without clouds.
Isn't there? I think there is. There's like like a lightning storm, but isn't it?
Sure, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the clouds are somewhere else, but it's thunder and lightning.
Don't think I'd ever seen that before. It was kind of weird.
Remember, lightning is static, build up charge. So
Get out of here.
get out of here.
No way.
I
Are you
was
serious?
gonna say, are you serious? Where's the sound
Are you
effect? So moving on, we've got a lot more to celebrate as we had breaking news, a couple of hours ago, that the disappearing, the crew that was disappeared in the cave, the soccer crew, I've got a nice little story here if I just put it all together, but disappearing in a vast complex cave more than a week ago, a Thai soccer team and their coach have been found alive. The Chiang Rai governor said in a statement late Monday, "We found them safe, but the operation isn't over." The lost group was discovered near the so-called Pattaya Beach. The 12 players between the ages of 11 and 16 and their 25-year-old coach had been stranded for 10 days. The group is being evaluated while authorities determine a safe way to extract the group from the cave.
How did they get in there?
They walked in there.
Can they walk? Can they walk back out?
No, what happened was that apparently there was like a lot of rain.
Right.
and
Go ahead and
it-
explain it, Drew.
It flooded into the tunnel, and they couldn't get out because of the flood.
Oh,
It was an area that was marked off limits anyway, and they went ahead and went in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Guess they learned their lesson.
Yeah, that and the no alligators here.
But
So-
so once they went in, the tide came
Caught
up
'em.
and they got stuck in there, which is probably why it was off limits in the first place.
Exactly. So now they're in there for almost 10 days. I thought they were dead. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's surprising.
I
Like
done.
that.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Have you heard about the story?
I haven't.
Yeah, it was, young, like I said, young players, but they must have had obviously the essentials, like life-saving essentials, if they were able to
What is what they
stay
have?
alive
They're a soccer team. What they
for
got, like a
No,
soccer
usually-
ball?
when you go, but how long do you expect? Like, has anyone ever gone on a cave expedition? I mean,
Stop. I didn't lose anything in the cave.
so there's no reason for
There's
you to
no
be in a
reason for me to
cave.
be in the cave.
well, I'm guessing maybe they had like water and trail mix and all sorts of things like that.
They
maybe,
probably did.
Maybe there was some berries in there or something.
Like, you got to eat a peanut a day.
Oh,
Like, we've got one bag of trail mix here.
I think they fight for it until it gets
I like
no,
a
but you know
survival
what? I
show.
mean, what were
That's
they?
right.
What were there? 12 kids or
9. I think it was 9 kids and
9 kids and the coach?
Yeah.
I
the coach.
guaranteed somebody brought some food or something.
It was 12. Yeah, there was 12 players plus the
I was only
25-year-old
9 now.
coach.
It's like 9
Or
now.
they ate the weakest link, and now there's only 11 kids.
It happens.
Hey,
Does it not?
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Survival. Wow.
See,
that's
we're
awesome.
news with the twist. Don't mind us, foreign fresh. This is what we do, though.
Every week, dude.
Oh,
Every
day.
Every day.
We want you to be able to enjoy life's awful stories out there. Well, this is a good one. However, for the past 10 days, again, survival's not easy. Does anyone watch Naked and Afraid?
Yes.
You know, you watch the first like 20 minutes and you're
I
like, oh,
don't-
I could do this. I'm Billy Badass.
Okay,
Excuse my language, you know?
I want to express. I don't seek out Naked and Afraid. My wife watches it and makes me watch it. So I do watch it, and I say to myself, the first thing is, why do these people sign up for this nonsense?
Why? Yes.
Alone's a really cool show about survival.
Right.
It's on History Channel. I watched that one. I'm
Is
not
it
crazy
is that the
about,
same kind
I'm
of
not crazy about
process?
Naked and Afraid. What?
Is it the same thing? Like you're by yourself and naked?
Yeah, the guy's got the person has a camera, and that's it. They walk around with it and try and survive and build things.
Do they get to bring like one thing with them, like the other show?
I guess they have whatever they can carry. It's not like they have everything they need.
Yeah, like
But-
Naked and Afraid gives you one object.
Each
You can
person
bring
one person,
Yeah, what would you bring?
A return ticket. I bring the signal flare. Hey, I'm right here.
I'm going fire starter. What would you bring, Foreign Fresh? Are you know the show?
I don't. I'm not too familiar with the show.
They drop you off either in a jungle, some
I
remote
heard about it.
part of the world, and you're butt naked, and you got to survive for 21 days
With a partner
with a partner.
who
Yes,
you hope doesn't somehow get incapacitated and suck up all your energy and stuff.
you got to work together.
Bottled
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, but you'd only get like one bottle. I don't know. I wonder if they would let you.
Bring a 6-pack.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
It's a reality show, Joy. It's not real.
you're right. Thank you, Siobhan. You're absolutely right, though.
Yeah, one thing. I would have a suitcase with a bunch of things inside it. That's my one thing.
Yeah, right.
Survive for 21 days.
I have 6 bullets.
There are producers behind the camera, fully clothed with matches, water, food, and anything
Yeah.
else you would probably need.
But they can't help them.
Knife. Oh,
They're not supposed to. That's what editing's for.
yeah, exactly. They cut
Right.
those parts out.
Post editing doesn't show all that. So
I'm waiting to see these people go to the bathroom, and no one's gone to the bathroom yet. It doesn't make sense.
I don't want to see
Definitely
that.
some matches or something.
Yeah.
We'll have to make some.
I think like in a case like that, like as long as you have fire, you need fire and
Need fire,
water.
basically
You know,
fire.
but
One
even
thing.
if I think the number one thing is fire, because with fire, if you find water, you can
Right.
sterilize it. I just think that there would be. I need fire.
Well, and you can stay warm. You don't spend your energy shivering. So
yeah,
I agree with fire. And then you need shade because
So-
during the day it's like 112
We
degrees.
have to hunt your food down.
everything. Oh, they
They need
eat.
fire. That's why I need some
Yeah,
fire. I won't have to put 2 sticks together.
Barbecue going up in that
Cook-
place.
yeah, I gotta cook some pigeons.
That's what you do. The
Right.
first thing you do, you get on. That's what they always do. They get on shelter and fire. So moving on, y'all ready to talk about immigration? I know your favorite topics. Amid the immigration
Here we go.
protest around the country this past week, a new poll shows that 84% of Americans favor turning illegal immigrants over to ICE when arrested. Democratic pollster and Clinton associate Mark Penn revealed the staggering statistic Thursday and added that the data was remarkably out of sync with the liberal outcry surrounding undocumented workers and family separations, along with the U.S.-Mexico border. The conclusion of the poll is that this 84% of Americans expect that someone will notify federal immigration authorities, just as they would expect someone who violates a tax law, such as they would notify the IRS. Like if one of us is arrested for state tax laws, the law is going to notify the IRS. So when
Wait a minute.
an illegal immigrant gets arrested, what do you think happens?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm gonna call the IRS on you.
No, law enforcement. What I'm saying is when an illegal immigrant gets arrested.
But I want to go back to this IRS thing here.
No, it's an example. It's not part. I mean, it's just an example of the story. Just like
Okay.
if one of us were arrested for tax fraud, wouldn't the authorities contact the IRS and let them know they have us? Or
Well, it should be the IRS that's arresting you. I mean, they should be.
they would
involved.
put out, but we're talking state tax laws, so that's federal.
It's just got more complicated.
Yeah,
than it
exactly.
needs to be. Joy, tell us about the original
It was an
story.
example. No, it was just an
Oh,
example,
get
and that
it.
was part of like the evidence that
Okay.
they gave us. But that's the example that they actually used
Mhm.
in one of the articles that I read. So, however, most of us expect when people get arrested, if there are an
Mhm.
illegal immigrant, that like the BSO would go ahead and call immigration.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Oh,
Do you expect that?
I expect the law to be followed. That's what I expect.
Right. So someone gets arrested and it comes to find out they're an illegal immigrant,
Mhm.
then you would assume that the arresting agency would go ahead and call immigration.
Well, that's the problem. That's a separate problem than what the immigration process that they're going through now. The problem is, but
right. No, it
but
is.
that-
It is. This is a poll. This is
right,
a poll,
that
though,
is-
but which is contradicting all the actions that are being taken out here with protests and everything else.
Well, I don't think so much that's the difference between the two of them. But if the problem that some people were having is that BSO turns into ICE, and that's not what they wanted to do. And that's what that problem is. Your local authority should not be working for ICE.
No, but if they arrest,
if they have 24 hours to get down and get this guy, otherwise he's released because it's going to be released.
Right.
If they're not down there in 24 hours, then he's released. But that's when ISIS to get in the car and get brought down. And
Right, but BSO, when they arrest him, let's say he's drunk driving and they arrest him, should BSO go ahead and notify immigration and custom enforcement?
That's what the law says they're supposed to do.
Right.
I mean, again,
if the person's not,
it's
I
not
go-
a trick question.
no, it's not. I said I
Yeah,
go
no.
whatever the law says you're supposed to do.
Right.
if
Well,
the
do you
person-
expect that's what
if the
happens?
person's not here legally, then yes.
Right.
Because that's what the law is people forever. So if they bail their way out or get out of jail for whatever reason, and ISIS is not there to pick them up, then that's ISIS' fault. If they've been notified appropriately.
Right. But they should be notified, right? Should that be the
That's
process?
what the law says.
Should that be the process? If an illegal
It should be whatever the law
immigrant
says.
gets arrested for drunk driving and kills someone, we take him to jail. Should, yes or no, your opinion, yes, you're saying that's what the law says to do. In your opinion, though, should BSO
Well,
pick up the phone and say, hey,
I think
this guy,
BSO has the jurisdiction because he's got arrested for a crime. So
but it should only stop there at BSO?
I think exactly. You know what I'm saying? I think the law, whatever the law says, is what to do. If you don't like the law, then change the law.
Yeah,
But-
what is true? Chris has something to say about it.
Ruh-roh.
I'm just saying, like I just said, if the person is here illegally, then yes, they should be notified, and then every action should be taken that's supposed to be. Everything that's supposed to be followed up on, deportation process or everything else.
But my fear is
if,
that
if the crime is like murder or manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, DUI, and you killed somebody, then they should be, prosecuted accordingly as any of us would be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's it. That's what our tax pay.
When
That's tax money.
that's what it should be. However,
should be.
technically federal.
We like to get these two going.
federal,
Sorry.
federal law.
That's what I was trying to do here.
No, technically, federal law kind of oversteps local, but it's a weird place. I think if he kills someone, yeah, he should do the time here.
What if he just gets, let's say, arrested driving without a license? Doesn't hurt someone, but it's still against the
And
law.
bails out and gets out.
He gets arrested.
And
When he's sitting in the holding cell, should BSO give ICE a call?
well, whatever the law says to do. Whatever the law says to do.
You ready to move on to Jeffrey?
Oh my
Did you ask?
gosh!
Come
Please,
on.
please. Let's
Chris,
move
you're
on.
so heartbroken about this.
This is a tragedy.
Did you ever have Lionel Play World? Like, did you ever have before Toys R Us?
Child world.
Child World? But did you?
Did you have
They
KB?
were
And
business,
then-
but nobody cared as much as they do about this.
We
Jeff-
did for
Nobody
Lionel Play World.
Nobody wrote these Toys R Us ballads for child world. They had
This is a
songwriters sit
commercial.
down with a piano and music sheets.
But this
You
is
know,
a-
Child World was just a regular ad during GI Joe and the Transformers, and people went there, but Toys R Us was an event. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
they got this giraffe running around, and they got these other animals, and aisles and aisles of toys. And
Animals.
everybody's happy.
You're right. You're right. And that's a lot of people. There's still people that do go out and buy toys, which we're going to get to in just a second here. But Toys R Us did close last of its U.S. stores this past Friday. The company is basically blaming busy parents who found shopping online more convenient. More than 30,000.
What?
Wow.
Wait a minute. Oh, I got to pull in
Busy
Hold on.
parents.
Let me finish the story. More than 30,000 employees will now be looking for new jobs. The closure has also rattled some toy makers such as Mattel and expand their toy aisles, and Party City is opening 50 pop-up toy shops this fall in order to attract toy shoppers. So an auction for the company's name, baby shower registry, and other trademarks are set for this late July. However, Toys R Us remains alive in Canada and in other countries.
Okay. Let me pick the bone with this now.
Go ahead. And I don't know if you all saw real fast to interrupt you too, but even on social media, like on their Facebook page, we also saw the picture I just saw with him, the empty toy aisle with his suitcase. However, Toys R Us also hashtagged it "True Be Continued."
Yeah, because there's still a possibility they can come back. But here's one thing. I don't think it's the lazy parents' fault for shopping online. I think it's
you said busy parents, dude.
I did say busy. I said blaming busy parents.
busy.
Maybe you're a lazy
No,
parent.
he's not. No, he's not.
Busy
He's the
and
one that
lazy.
likes. He's been going to Toys R Us
Yeah.
like every
he
day.
got his belts.
But he's one of those
Busy,
ones who
lazy.
likes a person who likes and
I
enjoys
like to
taking the
see
kids.
it. I like to see it. I can touch it. And I think, of course, there's some mismanagement going on because they were a little bit over debt beforehand and so forth.
Babies
And
R Us
not-
is what really put them in debt.
Babies R Us also kind of saved them a little bit, but they also had an issue where they didn't bring up their online stuff fast enough, thinking that their brick and mortar would save. That's not the case. You got to roll with the world where it goes. I think seriously that them not adapting to online is what killed them.
Well, back in the day, like online shopping wasn't a threat to any retail store.
Not at all.
If you wanted something, you had to go out and buy it.
Yep.
And this online
And I'm still
stuff,
used to that touching. I'm still used to that looking at it.
That's what we were raised on. That's the only way we knew how to shop, dude.
Right. And it's a hassle to return stuff online. It really is.
Well, no, it's like you can't sample the product or touch the product before you buy it.
Exactly.
You might get a broken one, and then you can't prove to the people that it was broken when it showed up.
Word.
You try to get on the phone with one of those Amazon reps, and they're impossible.
You gotta also remember
Right? Isn't that right, Joy?
Yeah, right, Joe. Yeah. Tell us about those reps.
I'm sorry, this product was damaged.
Amazon rip you'll find.
Also, a lot of them toys are outdated. Like nobody's really buying
That's true too.
our stuff besides video game virtual stuff. We're in the new,
That's true too.
Honestly, I'll be honest. Not that many people are buying GI Joe as they used to.
Yeah.
Well, we had when I was a kid, we had the Tonka trucks. And we're all out playing outside in the dirt and everything, in
Those
the mud.
yellow ones with the metal.
The yellow ones, the actual metal ones. Yes, metal.
Yeah.
See metal. See where it started.
Yeah, there you go.
And we had toys, we had action figures, we had GI Joes, Transformers, Thundercats. Every action figure, all the toys, and they had the stuffed animal things. You know what I mean? All the video games.
The smell.
Then the
smell.
But the kids nowadays are advertisers are targeting them with tablets and phone things,
and that's what it is.
In-app purchases,
as you said.
What was you buying your kid?
If I had any.
Oh, if you had any.
Toys and books.
Yeah, it was like Alex went through the wrestlers and Sydney the dolls.
I little army men. My mother hated.
Stepping on Legos.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah, come on.
But Drew's that type too. Drew is a good toy store. Like,
yeah,
he's the kind that likes to take trips to the toy store.
Oh yeah,
So-
I was going there almost once a week when they said they were counseling.
So I have a Jeffrey the Giraffe umbrella that I got when I was probably 4 years old.
You still have it?
I'm sure I still have it at my parents' house somewhere. You think it's worth something now?
No. It's worth
Yeah, right.
bankruptcy.
It has his head on the top of the
His head on
umbrella.
the stick. Okay.
And just think of their last, final save was the giraffe, the pregnant giraffe. Remember we went through that last year?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Waiting for the giraffe to give birth, and they put a lot of money into that as well.
And it worked.
Where did it get them?
It didn't
worked,
work.
but-
You got an out of work giraffe case. Thanks a lot, pregnant giraffe. April.
April the giraffe, and we watched.
We
her
were
for a
talking
while.
about that when we were in Doral. We had that whole
We
thing
did. We
going
were
on.
talking. Like I said, the whole world was. birth. We were all like day after day. Day after day. So moving on, we're going to get to our special guest, Foreign Fresh. Welcome again, Foreign Fresh. Don't we have
Trending round of
our now trending round of applause? So again, as an artist, a producer, should we say Miami and New York?
Correct.
Okay, we'll do Miami, New York. Do you do business in both?
Yes, I do.
Oh, areas, good deal. So tell us about yourself. You're here today. We've got music coming out. We've got a book coming out. Tell us the name of the CD, the book.
Name of the album is I Can't Change the Culture, same as the book. My time is a little different compared to others. I got that talking about, it's from certain age brackets.
Right.
So now you can relate to this and understand, okay, I'm not just saying skirt skirt. And that
Exactly.
stuff,
Yes.
and all that. So I'm giving you something to think about and move and maybe relate to.
Right.
Because there's levels to everything.
Right. Exactly.
Same as the book. I'm talking about myself in these times, motivating you from whatever I've been through in life. It was maybe negative, survive,
Right.
the streets of New York.
Usually our adolescent, like you're talking about like your younger self, you're, getting
Right.
through that and then, transforming into a young adult, a young man. There's a lot of
Correct.
changes and a lot of things that happen
Yeah.
these are those times that you're speaking of, like just that growth, those growing pains.
Right. And growth, if I was fatherless or don't forget, we used to have principles and, and honesty and things like and I'm showing you how to grow also.
Right.
Like some people don't get credit. Like I didn't have nobody teach me about credit or
It's
how to maintain
important.
certain things. Right.
Thank
These things
you.
are important.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do you rap about credit?
Yeah, in a certain
Dude,
way.
that's so cool. Man.
In a certain way, I slip it in there and let you know, like your investment, how to invest your money, how to grow and to help, help each other, come out the hood.
Right.
And in these poverty places that we at
Right.
around the world. Period.
Right.
So this goes for everybody because we all have problems.
Right.
But I'm definitely talking about how we can grow and motivate each other.
And to get out of those problems,
Exactly.
it's, a lot of us get stuck. I don't want to say a lot of us, but even a lot of the youth, especially when growing, when you don't have that proper guidance,
Right.
The things that you look towards or you move towards, aren't sometimes the right decisions. And,
Right.
a lot of young adults just need guidance. And hip hop and rap is definitely a channel to get through to young
Right.
adults.
Yes, it
That's
is.
what they're, and you know what? The lyrics really do matter. And it's like you said, we hear all these rap songs and it ticks me off. And I come from, we're from Miami. I mean, this is hip hop was born here also. We have our own style, not just here, but we have our own style that was born here.
Okay.
Just like you have East Coast, West Coast, but things have changed. Lyrics have changed. It's all
Right.
about drugs
Right.
now. It's like the messages that are
Right.
in these songs,
Right.
even the ones that they play on our local radio
Right.
stations, it drives me nuts that I have teenagers that, and they're listening to it, but it really is
Right.
negative messages.
Exactly.
I mean, you had a similar sort of message marketed to you when you were that age. With the sex and the drug lyrics,
Yeah.
and
But it
all that
wasn't
stuff,
as
but all the different
bad, I don't
music.
think.
Right.
During our
You're
age,
seeing it
it's just
through you're seeing it through different eyes, though.
right. We couldn't
You're
even
seeing it
have
as a
explicit
kid.
lyrics until Luke. I go before Luke until before he got things changed.
Right.
And it was people had to watch what they said on the radio. And back then it was more about curse words than the message. Like I said, we were starting with the messages, but it wasn't so much, especially the drugs we have today. The drugs we have today, we didn't have back then.
Right.
You're talking about mollies. You're talking about, and a lot of these songs are just based on,
Right.
going to the club or
Yeah.
popping mollies.
I think these days are more they're talking about using drugs than
yes.
selling. At least if we said, hey, we was selling drugs to survive in some way or whatever.
No,
or-
yeah, but they make it cool to go to
Yeah,
the club and
right.
pop Percocets and mollies. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
right,
snort line.
right.
It's not cool.
Nobody's telling them was the ending to that.
No, it nobody does tell them what the ending. And you know what? It really isn't cool to do.
Right.
I'm not some old lady,
Right.
but I've lived a life. I've lived life, and I have seen, and I know the damage that things cause. And it's just the messages that people you have a platform, and you can use that platform and take that music that people use and send a positive message.
All right.
And it's funny. I was driving the other day. I'm like, why can't we have a rapper that raps about politics? What's going on around the world to really. Once I got into college is when I took macroeconomics, and I'm like, why didn't they teach us this? As soon as we got into high school,
Right.
how money works. We should all know how money works.
There's no money in the budget. Sorry, I gotta pull that class.
Thanks, Drew.
Gotta pull that class out. Gotta get rid of a class. What class we get rid of? The money class. Get rid of it.
The first programs that get cut in school are art and music. We all know
Yep.
that because they pump the sports and the book club and all the other things. So that stuff gets cut. But I struggled with algebra in my freshman year of high
You
school.
were doing it.
So I got moved to business math and consumer math. I had to double up my following year. So all we learned was
That's
What are
what
you
I.
pointing at?
That's what I
He's
had.
cheering you on.
we
That's
gotta
what I
get
He's
this
had.
on
monitor.
your side
You
for
gotta get
5
the-
minutes. Let's.
We gotta get this monitor
I got
out of
this
the
on
way, dude.
camera.
I know, right?
Yeah, we got to get footage of that. No, but so I
Take a
learned a
picture.
lot about all that stuff. Every math problem had a decimal point in it, and everything was different. We weren't learning trigonometry and pi and all that other stuff. We're learning it at a level that we could grasp it and then evolve further.
Right.
So I agree with what you're rapping about, bro.
Yeah,
Because
I
kids need to
appreciate
learn
it.
it.
Right. And a great example of that is look what went on in the news, Junior.
Mhm, right.
So that's it's amazing right there. I can't believe I'm still, starting. It's like, oh my God, it's going on. So
And you said you're from the Bronx?
yes, I'm from the Bronx.
Okay, so this is like your neighborhood.
Right.
This
So
is your stomping grounds. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, in the way it's affected us, even being so far away and such a senseless tragedy, and the magnitude of this tragedy was it's disgusting.
right.
There's no other word, for it. So
Embarrassing, man.
do you plan on writing a song like towards that type of, like gangs aren't cool. Like
Right.
these kids are in gangs they're
Yeah, it's definitely not cool. I mean, as far as writing a topic around, what do you mean, Junior or
just even
a-
something close, just something related to, I mean, because you're talking days later
right?
after you had the kid who was on the highway, who that one
Right.
gang it was in the Bronx also, wasn't it? And they dragged him out on the highway and did basically the same thing, but they kept him alive.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But like your messages, do you ever like stop the violence? Like what other messages?
I got different messages. I mean, some of them about how to treat women. I got
Another
Hold
good
Me,
one.
Hold Me Down.
Right.
If you're
We did. We have it on there.
Right. And so that's basically a uplifting song about women, because at a time when if you're in a place and you're a man and nobody's there for you, you could have been incarcerated, you could have been, and lost your job.
Right.
And this woman was there, your other half or your partner was there
Mm-hmm.
to be around for you and hold you down.
Right.
'Cause
Exactly.
They say what behind every successful man is a great woman.
Is a great woman. That's
There you
right.
go. So she's gonna hold you down.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
she
he
don't
is. So okay, so we have. Is it going to be a CD that's going to be released,
It's
or
gonna
is
be
it
online. It's gonna be on
Mhm.
Spotify, all the major platforms. The book is gonna be on Amazon as well. You could get the album by itself or the book or both.
Right.
For for a certain price.
Okay.
Right. So we maybe this summer releasing that.
Nice.
And working on other things. You could besides working with the schools, Atlantic University.
That's what I was just going to
Got a
ask you
song for
about
them?
now. Right. So you're working with Atlantic University,
Right.
And what type of song are you doing for them?
It's a nationwide song. We have a lot of foreigners. So the
Mhm.
song's called "I'm Trying to Be Great."
Okay.
We're all trying to be great in some sense.
Right.
Right. So I'm basically getting down to why you should come to this school and the things they provide.
Okay. Mhm.
And also as a person, you want to be great, right? To be great, you got to be around greatness.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. That's the key. That's the key.
I actually had got the idea from Muhammad Ali. I was inspired by him. He held me down when I was a little baby.
Right.
Before. I heard a
Mhm.
story about that, so I got the idea from that. Trying
Right.
to be great, and I took it from there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And then the book is going to have the same messages. How is the book? Talk to me about the
Oh
book.
man, the book.
The name of the book again.
I came to change the culture.
Okay.
Right. So the book is basically, it talks about me as a young man and my experience at home and in the streets, and how I transformed and evolved to other things. That's the mistakes I made, and how I don't want you to make any of these mistakes. Or my son, I have a son, right? He just turned 16.
Okay. So,
So-
is that your influence as well? I have a 16-year-old
Yeah?
daughter. Yeah.
Oh,
And you
man.
see.
So it's definitely the thing to do for me, to show them the path, not just say but live it.
Right.
Say, listen, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this.
Right.
And that's all cool. All right, there's a time for that. We're gonna hear that.
But you have choices.
right. You have choices.
Better choices
Right,
than
right.
sometimes we do. We have choices in those decisions, especially as
Right.
younger
Right.
folks, and
Definitely.
they just don't get it though,
Yeah.
But they need us there to tell them.
Yeah, the book is definitely interesting and shows you how in the South Bronx.
Mhm.
I was born and I was raised in 225th and Broadway, that
Mhm.
part of the Bronx, the west side of the Bronx, and the things that was going on in that environment at that time while I was watching and seeing.
Right.
If it was the era of the crack, if it was a lot of different ways people were trying to survive and get in, and things I just made seen, just giving you a lot of jewels
Right.
and experience.
Right.
So
Very nice. Very nice. Anybody else have any questions for Foreign Fresh before we take a break?
No, right?
Well, where
You
can
asked all the questions.
great. Well, where can everyone find you?
you'll find me on Instagram at foreign_young boss, on Facebook Foreign Fresh.
Mhm.
And I also want to give shout
Go
out
ahead.
to
Shout out. In the camera right here. Yes.
to Indigo.
Oh, come on. Give
Yeah.
Indigo. Indigo's
Yes,
our camera.
Indigo.
I'm so sorry. I didn't even
Indigo
introduce her to the show too. She's so quiet.
Right.
Come
She's
over
from
here.
Seattle.
Wait, duck in
They
between
quiet. They're
them.
quiet in Seattle.
Hi. Hi.
She is.
Follow me at IndieVision, INDI_VIS.
There you go.
Vision,
Yeah,
Indie
great.
Vision.
They've got it right. And then, but tell us what you do. You take pictures.
yeah.
She's here taking photos.
Well, I'm a photographer and
Get in the mic. Get
I'm
your
a-
face in here.
I'm a
Let them see you.
photographer and a model, and I do a whole bunch of other things. I'm trying to start a nonprofit and build myself. And yeah,
She's a girl that's going places.
Yeah,
I'll
going
tell you that
great
right now.
places.
She's going great places. That's awesome. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today,
thank you for
Foreign
having me.
Fresh. It was a real pleasure to have
My
you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got more news. We've got some 4th of July trivia coming up. It is our little woohoo 4th of July celebration, right? So make sure you stay tuned to Now Trending Live right here on nowtrendingradio.com.
She gon' hold me down. She gon' hold me down. She gon' hold it down. Yeah, she gon' hold me down. She was there when the money was low and the hoes wasn't around. She was there when the weather was bad and the rain came. Before we started pouring the glass and champagne came. Before we was driving foreigns, and changed lanes. We was on the same book, but now the page changed. Told me money wasn't the only thing important, but now the money changed things. She was talking, but I wasn't listening. Now she talking, now I'm listening, cause I'm locked up every time she was visiting. She gon' hold me down, she gon' hold me down. Mommy, I know you trust in me, even though I'm a hustler, baby, and I run the streets. Regardless, I'm getting dough, my paper's low. I know you still gon' fuck with me. Let her stash the cash, spend bucks with me. Mommy, you ain't gotta worry, you can trust in me. You can trust in me. You can trust in me. Do a lot, man.
I'ma hold you down, baby, regardless.
Don't think about you. I got you though. She was there when the money low, so it's only right I show you how the money blow. She gon' hold me down, she gon' hold me down, she gon' hold me down. I ain't gon' lie, she was there for me when I was hustling on the block, and she was scared for me. Yeah, who gon' care for me? Yeah, she asked me about my balls, I told her, of course I am. Play the cards I was dealt, baby, don't force my hand. And my baby to be faithful, I told her, of course I can. And I meant it. I don't know Neo, but she's so independent. When I call you a bitch, baby, don't get offended. She want me to know who her friends is, cause they asked about me. I had in South Beach, drinking rose in the penthouse suite. Yeah, please don't doubt me. She was there before the sun came out and it was cloudy. Oh, it's that real shit again. Gotta change the culture. Open the door, man. Walk into my house. Let me show you where I'm from. Foreign.
Listen to me, baby.
If you broke, you better get that damn paper. Whipping in the pot, I'm a 28-gram scraper. Shout out to the niggas who never tell. The feeling of being rich, fresh Bugatti leather smell. Young nigga ballin', yeah, I'm an NBA draft pick. Cocaine Ferrari, white hoes in a half brick. All I know is fake friendships and niggas who fucked up their education. Let the pen slip. Sit out the streets, mama used to warn me. Get around more crooks to smile at you. Yeah, then Wall Street. They say you ain't talking facts, then you just assuming. Start on the block, the money coming, the work moving. See niggas I looked up to, yeah, on the glass pipe. Yeah, I was chasing the paper, cardio, fast life. Ain't too many promise cat. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay alive. The only promise death. Yeah, I know that could be kinda scary. Raising a house of pain, I ain't talking Tyler Perry. In my house, the bills came early, but the rent was late. In my house, either a bullet or jail time, or get you sent away. In my house, all you heard was too much screaming and a lot of cries. It's a fact I was busting them checks, nigga. It's not a lie. Niggas trying to provide. I'm from, they say the truth, everybody lies. Where I'm from, all the mothers cry. Where I'm from, bitches break it with their man and listen to Mary J. Blige. Where I'm from, yeah. Used to move that beef and broccoli from the Chinese store. Elevator on the way up, yeah, but they wanna see me fall. Shorty said I'm more litty, that boy who dropped DC4. Focus on the music, no distractions. Keeps that open door phantoms, but I'm used to closing caskets. I've been going through trials and errors. If God can only judge me, then I'll be going through trial forever. She tells me grow up like I've been a child forever. Yeah, I'm supposed to be innocent before proven guilty. She looking at me like I've been lying and cheating. Like, yeah, nigga, we'll see. Bitch, you ain't even keep it real with yourself. How I'm gonna give you the real me? She was saying she got her friends as a witness, saying I saw you.
And we're back to Now Trending Live on Now Trending Radio. So we had a great time. We had special guest Foreign Fresh on here. Huh?
Say that 5 times fast.
Try it.
No, I asked you to do it.
Foreign Fresh, Foreign Fresh, Foreign Fresh.
No, special guest Foreign Fresh.
Okay. Special guest Foreign Fresh, special guest Foreign Fresh. I can do it. Siobhan had her episode on tongue twisters. Did you do your tongue twisters? The Sally sells, she sells.
Yeah, apparently you didn't listen to my podcast.
I listened to my part.
I didn't participate.
I don't hear myself in these.
Neither do I.
I don't either. Why is that? Hang on.
Is the headphones up?
Yeah.
No, that's monitor. There we go.
There we
Good job, Drew. Can I produce next week?
I hear noise.
Sure, take next week off.
So Siobhan's got some news for us. Siobhan, do you have news for us?
Coming in crystal clear now with the camera. We changed it.
She is.
Well, maybe that was me. Maybe I'm on this side now and it's gonna work perfectly.
Crystal clear.
My back.
Say hello.
You need to move that then, I guess. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Anyhow, in the news, Mexico has a new president. Yes.
boy.
So I'm not even going to try to say this more than once. So Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador won.
What?
Yep.
Yep.
We're going to call him AMLO, which is his nickname. I'm not making that up. AMLO won by more than 50% of the vote, which is the most in the history of Mexico's multi-party democracy. The electoral results will give him broad power to reshape public policy, which has largely been set by pro-American, free market-oriented politicians in recent decades. So we may be seeing some changes come to Mexico. And we already know that there's some tension between the U.S. and Mexico with that whole border wall issue and everything. Yeah. So I was trying to find the quote from President Trump's tweet this morning congratulating him. Let's see if I have it right here. Yes. Congratulations, he says to AMLO. This is taking longer to open than it should. Here we go. Come on, Twitter. On becoming the next president of Mexico. I look very much forward to working with him. There is much to be done that will benefit both the United States and Mexico.
You didn't write that.
Say what now?
You didn't write that.
Well, it was on his Twitter.
Oh, I'm quite sure it was.
All I'm saying. So, yeah, this AMLO person is a leftist, longtime leftist standard bearer and former mayor of Mexico City. He promised to battle corruption and improve the lives of the poor. He has pledged to increase subsidies to the elderly and people with disabilities, provide scholarships to students, and re-examine a 2013 restructuring to liberalize Mexico's state-run oil industry. Yeah, so he also pledges to reduce the size of pensions given to retired presidents. In response on Monday, former Vicente Fox tweeted a picture of him and other former Mexican heads of state dressed in rags with the caption, "It's for the good of Mexico." Yes. So one of the biggest obstacles he's going to have to face is being friendly with our American president, President Trump.
And do you find problems with being friendly with President Trump? Does it seem like it's that hard?
Being a border nation, it would behoove them to have a nice and lasting, peaceful relationship with the other countries that are here. Like we're in North America, so Canada and Mexico. I think it's vital to have really good relations with their governments. And as much as I support Trump with a lot of things, I don't like the way he talks to people and the way he tweets. Not crazy about it.
You really?
Look at what it's doing to the relationship with Canada, and now it's with this Mexico thing. I mean, he likes the guy, so it should be okay. But
what is wrong with his delivery? He's just too upfront. But
I'm too brash.
I agree, too brash. I just find it funny coming from you saying that.
I just think the tweets are a little out of control. But you know what? In the end, he's our leader, and You know, he's absolutely right in doing this, trying to boost the oil thing going on over there, because we don't want to get oil from the Middle East anymore. We can get it right here next door, you know, with Mexico and everything else like that. So as far as what he said with Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau, you know, he said something about his eyebrows or about, you know, he said, you know, whatever. And this is with the new president coming in. It's good to get in right at the beginning and forge a really good relationship with them, especially with the border and the wall being such a big issue and immigration being a big issue. So I think this is a big step. Again, I'm not crazy about the tweets and stuff like that, but that's what he's doing. So.
Well, the new president of Mexico describes President Trump as arrogant and a show-off.
I love him already.
Those are the words he uses.
He's accurate and he's honest.
And then a professor of Latin American studies says the relationship between the U.S. and Mexico is a marriage. It can be a good one or a bad one, but at the end of the day, the U.S. and Mexico are still wed. I think that is apropos.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So anyhow, we'll see how that all kind of works out and what kind of relationship the new president and our current president have, and if they work together to build a wall. I really don't know how Mexico feels about us putting up a wall to keep them out.
There's already an existing structure there.
Let's not forget
that, and it's being reinforced.
Well, there are some natural land structures to create the border. So, anyway, yeah.
I mean, you would repair your fence in front of your house, right? If it was like had holes in it or it was damaged, you would fix it, wouldn't you? It's the same thing.
Chris Meadows talking to you.
I'm just throwing it out there for everybody listening. Not just Drew.
Yeah, he wasn't just me.
Said if you had like holes and stuff in your fence, wouldn't you repair it?
Damaged fence.
Or damaged fence. Wouldn't you go and fix it?
I have fixed my damaged fence. Yes, I have.
Okay. So think
but
of
I
it
did
like
not
that.
expand upon it and pay $8 gazillion
That's not going to cost that much.
to make a gold fence.
Oh, CNN. It's not going to cost that much.
Yeah, that's because you watch CNN. You got the gold fence from them.
No,
is that where you got this?
I just made it up.
Oh, is that what they're saying?
You just made it up. You're creating your own fake news.
My own fake news.
Great. That's just what we need.
Apparently, that's the only news that he pays attention to. So I gotta make something.
No, I watch it all. I just find them to be the most entertaining. I bust out the popcorn when I watch CNN.
It's funny how they should have numbers that are up to the ceiling because apparently everybody watches them. So their numbers should be
about 30
over the top. Yeah.
I just have to sit through their stuff. That's all. I have to. I used to be my number one source a couple of years ago.
When they report, it's like summer camp.
I watch all the networks. I watch all the networks, and I make my decision.
Yeah, basically.
That's
you must be watching the networks because today
I am. I'm watching them all.
Today, like you're really balanced out.
He's not asleep.
I'm on 2 hours of sleep.
My boys running.
He's not. Is that the cure or the key?
No, it's not a key at all.
It's
like a corroded lock. It's not even a key.
Like the Mexican president called President Trump arrogant, and what else?
Show off.
This one said, "Yeah, he's right."
Because he's showing shades of Donald Trump by what he's saying.
I can't believe you said you don't like him on Twitter and he talks to people.
Yeah, what are we doing, Metal? Where is he?
The tweets come back to haunt him. The tweets come back to haunt him. But I understand at this age, in 2018, that's the ideal way of getting in touch with people. It's also the ideal way of slandering somebody who's bothering you.
Are you
know
serious?
I mean? Yes, I'm serious, Drew. But this guy, the new president, AMLO. Sorry.
He's an AMLO?
AMLO.
President AMLO.
I'm thinking Amway.
I like him already because he's already
Don't say AMLO.
He's already behaving similarly to Trump with starting to say something not very nice, but honest about somebody else. And that in the end, that's what we're getting. What the hell are you playing?
All right.
Not
yeah.
much.
Well, I don't like music bed when I'm talking.
No.
Sorry, Siobhan. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so in other news, the FBI in Cleveland has arrested a 48-year-old man it says was planning a July 4th attack in the city's downtown. The man was taken into custody Sunday and charged with attempted material support of a foreign terrorist organization. According to an FBI affidavit, he had an extensive discussions with someone he believed to be working for Al-Qaeda about attacking the city, possibly with a remote control car equipped with a bomb or a van laced with explosives. And he considered himself more of a planner rather than an on-the-ground attacker. So he was just planning it. He says he didn't actually planned to be the attacker. The person who the suspected terrorist was speaking was working undercover for the FBI, and their interactions were being recorded. So, would anybody suspect a terror plot against Cleveland?
That's what.
Ever since LeBron signed with the Lakers, I think the whole city's under.
Maybe that.
So it's like 24 hours.
Well, I think there's probably going to be some type of ride jersey. They're going to burn jerseys again.
They're not going to care.
That's not connected to terrorism.
Terrorism, because her and I were discussing that. Like, why would you hit Cleveland?
Because exactly.
Why not?
Exactly.
Why not? You could hit Cleveland.
Nobody would expect it.
Nobody would expect it.
You could hit any random city in the world.
Right.
A terror
Plus
attack is a terror attack, no matter if it's in Cleveland
I agree. You
or
just
at the
think
CSB Studios. It could be anywhere. And the focus.
You would just think they'd be shooting for higher numbers.
Well, the focus isn't on where it happens. The focus is on the fact that it happens.
Right.
So,
because that way in the heartland you hit the heart.
But if you hit my hometown, then it's going to hit you harder, obviously.
Right.
Serious question though. Does anybody on 4th of July fear going out just because of things like this?
I'm aware of it.
I don't like to go out on those holidays, not because of this, but because of idiots that shoot up in the air to celebrate.
That I agree with
too.
That's
the one reason I usually don't go out.
I like being home, but then the other day I was thinking it's not. We have laws in Florida also against fireworks that shoot up in the air. However, there's no enforcement whatsoever. My issue is not the fireworks; it's the people that are letting them off. I don't think that my neighbors can tie their shoes. No. Why do I want them setting off? High-powered flying explosives. Seriously, I really questioned. And it's just I'm sitting and they were going off, and I'm like, God, one of them's, one of those big ones are going to hit the house only because it's some dumbass, who just.
Let me give an example of how bright.
I think of.
Let me give an example of how bright we are here in South Florida. Not this hurricane season. I'm gonna say the one before this hurricane season, last hurricane season. 2 people were at the hospital hurt because they were burned from a small explosion. The reason they got burned? The reason they got burned is because they were looking into the gas tank of a generator to see if there was any gas left in it. And they're using to light up the
Mr. Wizard's World on Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? These are people
morons.
that got raised watching YouTube and all crazy things like that.
No, these were old, stupid people.
Oh, well, there's something.
Look at the football player. What was the football player? And
Jean-Pierre? Yeah.
Yeah, with his 3 fingers.
Oh, what an idiot.
But this is people who put tape on their windows thinking it's going to protect them from a tree. So what can you do? What can you do?
There goes Joy with her waving again.
Testing all the cameras.
I just randomly wave at cameras.
Yeah.
When I walk out the doors, I just wave.
Yeah, sit right here. Don't move. We'll get to some help.
So, Joy, did you have an update to a previous story?
No, I didn't know if I had put that in there to discuss, but I didn't. I was in there for a filler.
Teasing us?
Yeah, but I was putting that in there as a filler.
I see.
And we're actually right on time. Do you want to give us some trivia though? Shoot
out a trivia question.
I want a 4th of July trivia question since it's our 4th of July.
Oh Lord.
Our pre-4th of July celebration.
Okay.
This is our second. No, it's actually our 3rd year in a studio. I think we were John Etch the first one, but I'm still not allowed to light fireworks in the studio yet.
You see, she's the one that's going to be
times are changing.
Is there gas left in here?
Well,
here's my lighter.
Did you see there's a country, I think it's a European country, that's thinking about having silent fireworks?
Come on.
What's the point?
Exactly. What is the point?
Because of animals.
Forget it.
Somebody stop me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I had all these really great questions, but they went away.
I was just going to say you had.
Sorry. Hold on. Wait. I have some. Give me 1 second.
Time's up.
These quiz things.
You're the trivia lady.
I know, but I don't.
And I got an official trivia lady. I just didn't say Siobhan.
I don't write the trivia questions. That's someone else's
But can we talk about you being an official trivia lady?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Siobhan's an official trivia lady. That's one of her jobs.
Has that been made official?
She gets paid for it.
I've been doing it for 3 months.
And you have no trivia questions ready?
No,
I don't write the trivia questions.
Well, today I just sprung it on her that there was going to be trivia.
Give her any notice whatsoever?
A few hours.
Here's a good question.
What's a good question?
What was the first capital of the United States?
Oh, I know.
What?
The first capital of the United States was Philadelphia.
Very good.
How did you know that?
I learned it in school. I want to say 6 or 7.
Who
Probably so.
was the first president to be born in a hospital?
Eisenhower, I think.
After him.
After him. No.
No guesses, Chris? Joy? It's so quiet.
Nope.
This is good radio.
Crickets.
Jimmy Carter.
You're making the questions
who
really hard.
was born in 1924.
Mm.
He was the first one to be born in a
Still
hospital.
alive.
Yep.
There
That's
were
true.
hospitals back then.
No.
There's a group of doctors working in one spot.
Finally, last question for this segment. How many U.S. presidents have been an only child? Oh.
Wait.
10.
Drew? Joy? Guess?
I'm thinking.
Over under. Am I
15.
close?
Maybe 3.
3. You're all wrong. It's 0. Every single U.S. president has had, at the very least, a half sibling.
Yeah, because only childs would basically turn into bad kids. None of them will become president.
Well, remember,
we should have been able to see right through
remember
that.
all
one, you
those
guys.
kids, all those, you had all those kids because you never know which one was going to make it. I mean,
What are you talking about? We have a president right now. That was not.
just depending on how old they are. When back in the day, you had 8 kids because you know which one was going to make it.
Well,
As simple as that.
true.
That's why the names were all simple.
Make it to where? With 8 kids? Where are
So-
they made?
so the next
to adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah, lifespan wasn't that Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take a break. How about that?
Yes.
Break.
When we come back, we've got sports, we've got more trivia, we've got odd news. So make sure you stay tuned with us right here on Now Trending Live.
Well, 1 second, because you're too fast.
We're back to Now Trending Live right here on Now Trending Radio. So we've got lots to talk about in sports. The sports world's going wild today with lots of basketball talk. What do you got for us?
Yeah, in World Cup news, Belgium mounts a comeback against Japan, being down 2-0 with 30 minutes to play to take a 3-2 lead and eventually win the game. And congratulations to Belgium for showing up and making this very exciting. What do you think about? I know you're watching the World Cup, Drew.
Yes, sir.
Who was some of your, as far as what's going on? Who are some of your favorite performers so far?
Performance so far. I mean, you got to feel bad for Messi because he didn't much do anything.
I don't feel bad for Messi.
I don't feel bad,
and I don't feel bad for Ronaldo either.
Okay, I guess those two don't.
It sounds like a Spanish soap opera.
It does, because that's what soccer is.
The Spanish soap opera.
International.
I think today Neymar did pretty decent. I think he had an assist and he had a goal, and his goal was the nail in the coffin for Mexico, and there's Cinderella story. I think there's still Uruguay still there to be the next Cinderella story.
Uruguay's going to be a threat, man. I'm telling you.
They're playing very well, and then of course Germany is out. Oh my god, it's so funny that they're out. Brazil's in there, and they're looking strong. I can't call it either way. France is also looking strong too. It's too early right now to see who's going to.
Well, no, because it's the knockout stage, and we can start talking about the teams that were. Like Mexico, they jumped out, they beat Germany in the opening game 1-0. Nobody thought they were going to win. That put Germany on their heels right away. They're playing against the ropes the entire time.
Because now people see you as weak and they can take you.
Right, and Mexico, let's be honest, they backed in to the second round.
Right, and well, that's
because a bunch of teams lost. And
because that game against Sweden when they lost 2-0, I think.
Something like that.
That should have showed you right then and there.
And they played Brazil today, and Brazil beat them 2-0. Quite impressively. They never gave Mexico a chance to get a ball in the box. Not even close. Belgium, like I said, they've scored 3 goals in practically every game they've played so far, and today didn't look like they were going to do it, and they did. And they came back.
30 minutes left. Yeah,
it was amazing.
In soccer,
absolutely amazing comeback, and those are unheard of. Yesterday's games, Spain and Russia drew to a 1-1 tie. Croatia and Denmark as well, 1-1.
I think he should play. I don't like those kicks. I
don't like penalty kicks.
It just
like I don't like penalty shots in hockey to decide games.
I think you should play until you
because the goalie's at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
You want to take penalty shots, but the whole team in front of the net.
Yeah,
might go in eventually.
Yeah,
somebody might get a broken nose or might get that ball shoved in.
There were some saves in that game were just incredible, but at the end of the day, I rather than just play until they can't play anymore.
Well, tomorrow's featuring the biggest game. I think is the one I'm looking most forward to is tomorrow 2:00 Colombia and England. That's going to be a crazy game, and I've gotten invitations from both Colombian people and British people. Hey, you're going to watch the game here. You're going to watch the game there. I'm really probably going to watch the game at my house, and I don't want to be on either side, win or lose.
No, you don't want
because both countries are passionate about soccer.
I was just going to say that both are going to be very passionate about it, and both are going to be very drunk. And
you're right.
Win or lose, I'm in a dangerous place.
Well, you can go to Colombia. There's pretty girls over there.
Well, that's beside the point. I can go to parties where there are hot Colombian girls and watching the World Cup. But if they lose, and I'm not saying they will.
I see what you're saying.
I don't want to be there to see it.
They may need comfort.
And if they win, I don't want to be there to see the celebration because it's going to be like, one of my parties back in high school. It's
nice.
Not a pretty sight, in the end, because the celebration level or the destructive nature of a loss, it's just, and England, forget it. Oh my God. I know a lot of British people down here. I'm friends with a lot of people, and they're going to be out at the pubs. And they're going to be, doing barbecues and all sorts of things like that. And it's just going to be chaos. It really is, win or lose, because you're going to have to deal with the level of emotion is going to be off the charts.
Of course.
For both countries. So I look forward to watching that game. And I think I'll be in the safety of my own home to watch that. And then you got another one, a European battle, Sweden and Switzerland, at 10 a.m. tomorrow. That looks exciting because both teams are able to hang. Their goalies are tremendous. They don't score a lot, but they're still there. So they're doing something right,
Right.
but they know how to defend and they know how to manage a game because it comes down to the game.
That's going
management.
to come down to kicks, I think.
They know how to communicate. Yeah, again, I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. If I had to pick a team right now to win, I mean, I would go with Belgium or Uruguay.
I mean, it looks like their history proves it. So
just because they look like they're going to be like the dark horse, the sleeper.
Well, I don't think the supposed big guys Russia are going to win it. I don't think they're going to win it.
But look at some teams are already out. Germany's out. Germany's going to repeat, and they were done at the beginning.
They were done. Yeah, you're right. They're done at the beginning.
And I don't think Colombia. I don't know if their top player is going to play because he got injured in the last game. But injury doesn't matter to me because the rest of the team can step up, and that's usually the case.
Right.
I like England in that game. Sorry, Colombia, and all your fans. I think England's going to win.
I have to go with Colombia. I have to go with Colombia.
All right.
Only because I want to sleep at night, so I have to go to Colombia.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just Colombian?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she is.
I didn't know.
It's half Colombian, yeah.
Okay. Well, half of her let you sleep.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have to worry about.
Switching over to anything else in the World Cup?
No. Just to keep it going. It's been really great. The drama's there. Aside from the oh my god, I hurt my leg. Other than that, it's been really good. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest.
Yeah. Switching over to baseball, Yankees Red Sox series over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Being a fan of the Yankees, and Siobhan and I agree on that. Being baseball fans in general, I like to see pitching, good pitching. I like games that are like 1-0 or 2-1 or 2-0, things like that. We got 3 blowouts, 2 for the Yankees, 1 for the Red Sox. Friday night, the Yankees rolled 9-0 or 9-1, something ridiculous. Saturday, the Red Sox won 11-0, and then Sunday, the Yankees won 11-1. Yankees had 6 home runs on Sunday, 3 of them from Aaron Hicks, and Red Sox pitcher David Price is absolutely, if I've ever seen one, the Yankees bitch, because he cannot figure them out. Like when Jeter was playing, Jeter tattooed him, got his 3rd hit off David Price, which David Price's mother is a huge Derek Jeter fan, so she was glad it was her son who gave up the 3,000th hit. But he cannot pitch against the Yankees, no matter if they're in Boston or if they're in New York. And he used to play for Detroit, Toronto, and Tampa Bay.
Well, some people, it could be the scouting on him. Maybe they know his number.
Well, he's a left-hand pitcher, and they will stack the box with right-handed batters and will not hit anything that's pitched inside. So you're going to make him walk you or throw something over the middle or away. If they pitch him inside, he's not going to swing. All the right-handers. I was just reading the article. And, you got a guy like Chris Sale who pitched Saturday. He pitched 7 innings, I think. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk. He must have had 9 or 10 strikeouts, something like that. He's got them figured out. He just goes out there and throws a pitch. He's like Pedro back in the day. Could not figure him out. But David Price, they know him. They're like, oh, okay, well, we got this. And he was tattooed for 8 runs, earned runs.
And it's scouting. I mean, you know exactly what to do with this guy. And he's obviously not changing anything up. So there you go.
The Marlins still suck.
They're back in the basement.
The Mets last night. I didn't.
Yeah, they got out of the basement and went back into the basement.
They lost 5-2. They're going to be in the basement for quite a while, man. They are 17 games under 500, 15.5 out of first place, behind the first place Atlanta Braves, who are playing tremendous baseball, and they're playing the Yankees tonight. 3 games in New York, or at least 2. The Braves are playing tremendous baseball. They're really a surprise. Same thing with the Phillies. This division just looks so lopsided because you expected to see the Nationals in first place, and they sit in the middle of the pack at 2 games over 500.
Well, you know what? You don't want to necessarily lead. It's a marathon. You want to get to the end.
But it's not even that. It's the way that the teams are playing. Like you can't get consistent play.
Well, I don't look at it until past the All-Star break because when it's in the All-Star break, then you have that race for home.
But these games are as important as the second half games, especially division games.
You're totally right. But I still don't look at it until after that point because at that point, it's going to start separating. You're going to start seeing a huge gap between last place and third place. And that's where you know where you're standing at.
It's
because it's going to change. It's going to change. At 6 games back, the Nationals are only 6 games back. And then the Phillies are only 3 games back.
But it's
all it takes is one bad weekend for the Braves, and all that changes.
It's a 2-horse race in the American League Eastern Division with the Yankees and Red Sox. The Yankees percentage points in first place, by a very slim margin.
And that's the way it should be.
But the next team behind him is Tampa, who's 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're 13 games out of first place, no matter how well they're playing. And they just swept the Yankees down in Tampa. This division is so ridiculously sad. Baltimore Orioles, 31 games out of first at 24-59. With the talent they have on their team, they just have no pitching.
And believe it or not, they're worse than the Marlins.
I can't believe. I mean, looking at the numbers, yes, I completely agree with you. But I mean, the Marlins, living down here, it's like you get aggravated watching them on TV. Imagine if you have a season ticket and you go and you're spending money to watch them play poorly.
Some of the games they've been playing have been bad, and some games that they've won have been decent. It's what good day you catch them on, I guess. But they've got a couple rookie pitchers that came in and won some games, some opener games. They got some good hitting from other people since they got no one left. It's just a matter. You're right. It's just a matter of being consistent, and they're not consistent. So I give them a break on the fact of this season. I'll give it to them this season.
I mean, I'm emphasizing baseball here because that's really the only sport going on right now. Contrary to what you would see on the ESPN and the NBA Network and all that, because we're going to get to the inevitable, which I wanted to save for last because it's even on the crawl at the bottom of the news networks. This LeBron James signs a 4-year, $153.3 million deal with the Lakers. How do I know it's 153.3? That's all I've heard all day.
Hold on, 154. Huh?
No, it's 153.3.
It's a radio station. You know what I mean?
153 point.
Again, this is more of a circus show than anything else to me. He's been in the league for a long time now. He didn't go to college. He got signed right out of high school. Reebok gave him $80 million before he even touched an NBA official basketball. It's been a circus ever since with this guy. And now he's going to Tinseltown where he's, you got Lonzo Ball's there.
Ugh.
And Kobe's still sticking around. Magic's still there. You got all these people giving their opinions. And you got Lonzo Ball's dad, who's a circus act in and of itself. Everybody said he wasn't going to go there.
But everybody was wrong.
And, the thing is, like, everybody thinks they know what's going on. And this guy doesn't have to tell you anything.
Nope.
He's going to go with what he wants to do, what's best for him, his kids, his family.
Yeah.
And
he lives there. He has a house there.
It's all about the name on the back of the jersey with him. And that's all it's ever been. Because he never went to college.
Nope.
So we never got to learn how it's the name on the front of the jersey. It's been all about him.
And that's how people treat him.
I respect him, but I'm not a fan. I look to see him lose or get beat by people, on the court, of course. I just don't think that, he's got too much fanfare and too much. You either love him or you hate him. But he's just super in your face.
But is that his fault or is that being promoted that way?
I'm not blaming him.
Okay.
I'm not. It's just I don't buy into it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it and hear about it the entire day on ESPN and on the other networks because there's other sports-related things to talk about. Now, I know ESPN can't talk about the World Cup because of contractual obligations and all sorts of things. FIFA just doesn't deal with ESPN. They never have, So they can't talk about that, I understand. But you got baseball, you have NHL, you got NFL. You could talk about all these other sports, even though they're not active right now. Like in the NHL, to touch on it real quick, John Tavares, who's spent his entire career with the New York Islanders, just signed a deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that was his team when he was a kid. They got a picture on the website. He's got the Maple Leafs bed sheets and pillowcases. And he's like, finally, a dream, like a realized dream, finally for him.
How wonderful that must be for him.
And he is super stoked and super excited to be there. And you won't hear one mention of it on ESPN because LeBron signed with the Lakers. It's just it's beyond me. The level of attention is paid to this guy. I don't know. What's your take on it? Like I'm
at a point, honestly, on the point where it's kind of sad because, like you say, they're paying attention to him, and even if he doesn't want the attention, he's getting the attention. And then,
Oh no, he wants it, Drew. Come on.
No, I don't.
He's such a
Did you
drama
say
queen.
sad in explaining it? This is not sad at all.
I do. I think it's sad because
Oh,
It's payday for him.
because
I think
No, I think it's
$153 million
sad.
makes it a little.
I'm not saying
easier
it's sad.
there.
It's just sad because, like Chris says, there's other things going on, not just him. But there's
other
been other
free agents
time
out
time
there.
on everything.
There's other free agents that are, Kawhi Leonard, DeAndre, I don't know, all these other people
Jordan.
have different teams that have yet to sign them, and all these other players that are available. And all we hear about is this dipshit who I can't get him out of my face and my ears. No matter where I go.
I agree, but it's I still don't think it's his fault.
Again, Droopy, I'm not blaming him, dude.
I understand what you're saying, but
It's
they go over.
we're just force fed these things, and it's supposed to be like sports, but we're hearing it on the news. You know what I mean? On regular news, it's like there's not other things going on in the country and the world that LeBron's got to make the nightly news.
All I know is if you have to pass up an option at your job to paying you $36 million to go somewhere else, that's a hell of a job.
Agreed. We're almost ready to go to Metals Minute.
Yeah, guess so.
We need like an intro, I want to do the Wayne's World
I'd be happy to
like
go.
intro and be like Metals Minute.
I just need some heavy metal. I got
Let
a
me
bunch
see
of
it.
songs in there.
I'm licensed, I hope.
And then you got 5 minutes,
I
and
was
then
gonna
Drew
talk over it.
is going to talk to us about, is it Comic-Con?
Yeah, Supercon.
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 I need to get my cons right.
This is the intro for Metal's Minute.
Yeah, come on now.
Why?
We're serious.
Oh my God. Okay, how about this?
Boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing?
Much more acceptable, my friend. Thank you very much. I attended an incredible concert last night in Hollywood, Florida. Poison and Cheap Trick in 2018. tour
Where at?
In Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, I was going to say, which
Just right
which
there.
They're not
theater?
paying us, so I'm not going to mention it.
Oh.
Somewhere in Hollywood.
Wait, you get paid?
Anyway,
It was probably the Hollywood Beach band shell, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Yes,
over on
yes.
Hollywood Beach.
it was a listening party was there. You want to talk about the subject of Metal's Minute is longevity in the music industry. Both of these bands have been around 30 or more years doing what they do, which is constantly touring and getting yourselves out there for exposure to fans in any capacity, big or small venue, giant stadium, or humongous stadium, not giant stadium. But Cheap Trick's been doing it for over 40 years now. They sound as good as they do on their records. They still can light up the crowd. They played all their hits and then some. They wrote a few new songs that they threw in last night. It was absolutely amazing. But Poison stole the show, in my opinion. And you're talking the actual 4 original members from 1983. Same 4 guys still talking to each other after all this time. And they've gone through decades of fighting and actual fist fights and contract disputes and issues about marketing and this and that and the paycheck and everything else. But they go out there and they put on a phenomenal show. And this song you're playing
At
right
their
now is
ages.
absolutely one of my favorite songs. And I sang the whole song with them last night. Actually, pretty much every song, but I love this song so much.
I'll give you this. This is
And
one of my best favorites.
They did this song for the veterans.
Mhm.
And they had veterans on stage for this.
They wrote it for
particular
one.
song.
They wrote it for one of their folks who was a veteran.
The drummer's father's a Marine, and Brett Michaels' dad was in the service as well.
Back in the day, they had someone that worked for him was a vet, and he passed away, and they wrote the song for him.
Yep. And the joint was packed. There wasn't an empty seat in the place. They sound like they've been doing this for a long time because they played tremendously well. Songs obviously aren't going to sound like they did in the 80s and 90s. But
Right.
they sounded genuine and tremendous by the people who've been playing it forever. So,
What keeps, in your opinion, what makes that room full? What brings the people back to them?
these are songs that we've been listening to our entire
Mhm.
As Joy and I mentioned when Tom Petty passed away,
Mhm.
that there's this Tom Petty song in everybody's life soundtrack. The
Mhm.
same holds true for bands like Poison and Cheap Trick, because I grew up listening to them. I got in trouble in school for drawing the logo on my book cover.
Mhm.
My math teacher ripped me in front of the class. I was Sir Poison the rest of the day. I will never forget it. Cheap Trick's got amazing songs that you love singing along to, like Surrender and just you know, Dream Police and things like that. It's just fun to see them perform it live, and they're so into it with the crowd. You know, you see some musicians, some artists get up on stage and they mail it in, but these guys show up, you know, and everybody was singing every word to Surrender, and it sounded so good. It's absolutely my favorite tune from them, and I played it on the Chris Metal Radio Show over the weekend. You know,
Somebody get this guy a tissue.
no, I'm good. I'm not, come on, Joint. So again, quickly to wrap up Metal's Minute for this week. The key to this is longevity, and what you were saying is just get up on stage and get into it with the crowd. Get them, you know, feed on what they're giving you, you know, and that's what it was last night, because the place went bananas when Poison came on stage and when Cheap Trick was there. They loved what they saw.
I love that song.
They absolutely got my money's worth. This is on the show. I played it over the weekend.
I love the song.
It was great, and God bless them and what they do and the causes that they promote when they're out there. They're very actively involved with veterans and just all charity organizations, things like that. And they were just great to see, very energetic for a bunch of old farts.
No, it's funny that you say that though, and it is about longevity. Because like I saw Stevie Nicks last year.
Oh,
I mean, like, and she's really up there. But you know what? No, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't. What a concert she put on, and it was such a magical experience, an experience I'll always appreciate, and I was just happy to be there. I had second row. I was. It was great.
For us, it was. I'll never forget. It was May of 2004 because Bella wasn't born yet, and we went to see Prince at the BB&T, and he literally came out with a little guitar, sat down, and for 45 minutes just strummed anything off his mind.
Yeah.
And the voice you hear when you hear them sound exactly like CD or in your car,
right?
Then you know it's the real artist. You know it's a there's artists, and then there's Britney Spears, and then there's people that the sound of their voice just takes you to another place.
I still regret not being able to see Prince. It will haunt me for my life because I love the guy when I was a kid. Purple Rain was the first tape I ever owned. You know,
the first movie I had to see that had girls with butts.
Listen, so tell
SuperCon. Okay, I'm glad you asked about it. SuperCon this year will be.
Tell us in the camera.
It'll be. Oh, where are you?
I've even got a lower third that says Drew Dawkins SuperCon Talk.
What? It's this year, July 12th through 15th. That starts on Thursday, ends on Sunday, and it's an all-day process. If you like to see certain stars from certain shows and certain things and certain movies, definitely this is what you want to do. You want to come out to do that. Sometimes you just go to look at the people there and have a good time doing that. Every year or each con, I volunteer to go, and I totally enjoy it. I'm hoping it'll be the last year in Fort Lauderdale because it's a long hike. But usually they're at the beach. They're at the beach, and then see if I go to Fort Lauderdale, I have to get a hotel room and the whole 9 yards. But if they're at the beach, it's a lot easier if they're at Miami Beach. But it's really, really a good show. I mean, I think everybody here would have fun just looking at people and the effort that people do. It's like, we're fans, but when they go to the effort of making a costume and putting on makeup,
those are the hardcore fans.
A lot of families do it now too.
Yes, I don't know how I lucked out. My wife enjoys to go on these things.
Yeah, it's not just back when they began. A lot of people just assumed that it was more like younger kid type thing or just a video gamers type thing. But over the years, it's become more popular, and now you see families and everybody gets involved. Like I've seen mom, dad, all 3 kids, 2 kids. Everybody's dressed out.
Yeah, I took my dad for his birthday one year to this con in Baltimore. This was like, it must have been early 90s. And there was a lot of grown folk there, I'll say. And I lost him for a little bit in the crowd. Like, oh, God, where'd he go now? And
you weren't part of the grown folk?
And he's in the corner talking to a guy dressed as a Klingon. And it's hilarious. And it's just fun if you go and you just have a nice, the different shows, the different speakers, the different things that they'll have some trivia questions. They'll have some different stands and like that you go and you
tell us about panels. What are panels?
Panels there are 2 types of panels. There's a panel where it's a Q&A panel. So they'll have the guests, they'll have one of those stars from Walking Dead or some other show come up, and then they'll have a number of them and they'll ask questions from the audience.
Right.
Sometimes there are pre-asked questions because there's so many, or sometimes they'll have an open mic and someone will come up and they'll ask them a question. Then there are panels that are in the smaller rooms. And those panels tend to be a little more interactive because it's a smaller venue.
Right.
You have a little bit of people. One con I did a panel and it was just me and a guy helped me and a couple of people, and we just did Q&A. And then it got to a point where not that many people, so let's just talk. And so we just talked for 20 minutes about crap, and I gave stuff away. So
what do like personal people doing panels there though? Usually, typically, sometimes what are the topics? Like
topics are usually about whatever the subject the con is itself. For example, some cons are just for anime, so there tend to be more anime panels,
right?
And then some cons are for like this one, which is the big one in the South. So there's everything from Star Trek.
That's what I was going to say. Now, SuperCon is
super. So it's going to be a different multiple.
Right. So it's superheroes, like you said,
everything.
Star Trek.
They got wrestling there too.
Right, wrestling, definitely wrestling.
Artists,
but does that include
and
anime
writers?
and stuff?
Yes, it does.
And also, like this is the big shebang.
Right. This is everything. Everything's
SuperCon. Oh, so is Comic-Con? Is that up there with it? Are there?
Yes.
Is there?
Well, Comic-Con,
are they in levels?
Comic-Con tends to be more about comic books.
Okay.
But there's still the heroes that go to TV. Now, the big one, the mega. There's two what you might call holy mecca of cons. One's in San Diego, and that is because more stars from TV shows.
I've heard about that one. Right, that just happened not too long ago.
That was I think
a couple months ago.
I think this is coming up. I think
okay,
it's coming up. And then there's the other mega one, which goes back and forth. They tend to be like 1 year this one will be big, and next year this one will be big. Is in New York, and New York tends to be more comic book shows. Because a lot of the comic book shows are shot up in New York. Right. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. So a lot of those shows are shot in New York.
Right.
So that tends to be more where they're popular there. And they have huge amounts of people go to these things.
Siobhan, have you ever been to a con?
No, but in the promotional work I do, I often see jobs posted to work there doing some promotional work for some character or a product or something. I've never done it.
Why not? Would you get in
not
costume?
Really my scene.
I was gonna say.
I mean, you know what? Those tend to pay well. So if it was something that I'd be willing to do, sure, I guess it would be fine.
It's a gas because we'll go and then the kids see someone they like and they it's nice to see them like it.
Right.
And then you see someone you like. Like 1 year I got to meet D from DMC, Run DMC. He was there and I talked to him for a little bit and like, when you get flabbergasted, you know what to say,
right.
Because this is them.
Yeah.
This is a guy you sang with in your room and you dance back and forth with your friends. This is him. Yeah, I did this. and
but it really is a great way to meet I think famous people in a large setting.
Right.
These are the ones that want to be there. They want to interact with the fans.
That's the thing too. Because if in the street, you walk in the street and you see somebody like, oh, I don't know if I should talk to them because you don't want to lose that image you have of them because they're having a bad day or
Well, they want their alone time, which they're entitled to.
Which you're totally entitled to.
When you go to a venue like a Comic-Con or a SuperCon,
then they're looking for it.
They're
and that's when they want to talk to you. When you don't mind if you gawk over them and get pictures. You know,
that's
and let's remember well, that too, but it's like anybody else. They would want to be getting paid for what they're doing.
Right.
Doing what you love and then get paid for it. But let's remember the con is short for convention.
Right.
They were called conventions when I was a kid. I went to 2 Star Trek conventions and a Doctor Who convention when I was 4 years old.
Nice.
And they were geared towards science fiction primarily. But now they're opening it up to where there's pro wrestling there. There's some musical artists.
And if you're looking for something, this is where you're going to find it.
Yeah. And the tickets are really cheap. I think they're $18 to get in. But then you pay through the nose when you get in. You're buying memorabilia, buying merch. And then you want a picture and or autograph from these people.
Then it's extra.
So then it's going to cost you money. So based on what you can afford to spend on this event, it would be all the more worthwhile. But just going and seeing the fans dressed up as characters from all these different shows and movies.
They have cartoons, they have costume contests.
All sorts of things. Interaction.
Like for example,
networking.
I think it's up our alley, Siobhan.
The belt I got you, I got a copy of it. I'm taking it to have Jerry Lawler sign it for me.
Sweet.
Because that's the king, you know? And it'd be nice to talk to him and see him this time. I mean, I've seen him before walking by.
And Shawn Michaels is going to be there too.
Yeah, he's supposed to be there. And I wanted Lita to sign the women's open.
Right,
she's not
but she's not.
So.
Yeah, she's had a couple of things go on, and she's actually canceled like a couple of.
Well, one of Commander Rocker was supposed to be there, but he canceled too. He had something.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's supposed to be there, but he had something else come up.
Gangrel's going to be there too.
But
that's one of the main ones I was going to see if I end up going.
Well, we need to go to break, guys.
Crusher's still there, and
if I
and Major Kira's going to come in for him. She's going to come in to do his thing. The one from DS9, she's going to come in for him since he left.
You know that midget one, right? Is that what you said? I thought you said midget.
Catch it on the flip side.
So anyhow, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got box office what would you call it? Box office hits. Isn't that what we call it?
Yeah, I think it's
Box office.
I call it my movies mix.
There you go. Her movies mix, box office hits, and then we've got odd news. We've got more trivia coming up as well. 4th of July trivia. Make sure you stay tuned with us here at Now Trending Live.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Number 3.
The president's adding drug cartels to the list of terrorist organizations.
You can understand how that will expand our ability to combat them.
Sicario, Day of the Soldado. with 19 million. Number 2.
That's not the way you're supposed to do it, Dad. They want us to do it this
I don't
way.
know that way. Why would they change math? Math is math.
okay,
Math
Dad.
is math.
Incredibles 2 with 45.5 million and 439 million overall. And number 1.
These creatures were here before us. And if we're not careful, they're gonna be here after.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom with 60 million and 264 million overall. Opening on the 4th of July.
Tonight allows people a release for all the hatred and violence that they keep up inside them.
The First Purge, the prequel that focuses on the events that led up to the very first Purge event. Starring Ilan Noel, Lex Scott Davis, and Joy Von Wade. Opening this weekend.
Who would have believed that in your hour of need, you would turn to us? Not me. Because we robbed you. Do you remember? That's us.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. As Scott Lang balances being both a superhero and a father, Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym present an urgent new mission that finds the Ant-Man fighting alongside the Wasp to uncover secrets from their past. Starring Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and Michael Pena.
Let me give you a tip. You want to make some money here? Use your white voice. My white voice? I'm not talking about Will Smith's wife, like this young blood.
Hey, Mr. Kramer. This is Langston from Regal View.
Sorry to bother you. In an alternate present-day version of Oakland, telemarketer Cassius Green discovers a magical key to professional success, propelling him into a macabre universe. Starring Lakeith Stanfield, Tessa Thompson, and Jermaine Fowler. Topping the box office this weekend. Number...
And we're back to Now Trending Live here on NowTrendingRadio.com.
Yay.
Everybody having fun here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Siobhan,
Indeed.
you have any more trivia? 4th of July
Oh,
trivia?
yes. Do we... Okay. I'm trying to think how to word this, but I'm going to tell you.
Tell me.
Okay,
Say
so...
it in English first. Oh!
Wow.
What?
No, before we go into trivia, can we discuss this real fast? What you and I saw when we
Oh,
were in the
yes.
parking lot of
Okay,
we were
go.
leaving. Can I?
Yes.
Do you mind
Go,
me?
go,
Because it was
go,
crazy. Her and I
go.
were really shocked by it, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
Let's hear it.
We were driving out of the parking lot of a shopping plaza.
What shopping plaza was that?
Just
down the
road.
street. Down the street. And it was a legitimate Florida license plate. However, the letter N was a Spanish N, and it had the
tilde.
accent.
Enye.
It had the tilde over it.
Okay. Enye, yeah.
Have you
Yes.
ever seen that on a state of Florida
No.
driver's license plate?
I haven't seen that on
No.
any license plate.
How would a
We
police
saw
officer
it.
call that in? you're doing.
Enye. It's Enye.
If you get
Where did it come on?
But isn't it
If-
based on the English alphabet?
if you get a Spanish
So you-
police
I've
officer,
never
If you can have a
and don't know how
personalized
to do it.
plate, if you can have a personalized plate, you can do
Was
it.
it a vanity plate?
No,
I don't
it was a driver's. No, it was a regular driver's
Were you
license
able to
plate
tell
on the
it?
back
No,
of
I
a
think it
minivan.
was a vanity plate.
had to
I
be a
think
vanity
it had
plate.
an Enye in it for a reason, but I don't remember what it was trying to spell
Was it-
out.
was it-
Because I was
Oh, yeah, it
focused
was-
on the
oh, yeah,
N.
it was. There was a word. If that's what you were. Sorry.
Take a picture of it?
It was
No.
a word. No, because I was trying not to run the ladies over. They were acting like they
Literally.
didn't have enough room, and there was really
They were
enough room.
very concerned.
And so they wanted to sit there as I pulled out, even though I was sitting there like, go ahead, get in your car. And they just, so then I was just like, you know what, let me just pull out. So then as I'm pulling out, I look and I see the tilde or accent
Enye.
on the N. And it just floored me. I've just never seen that on a state of Florida. I've been here all my life. I was born and raised
Do you
here.
think it was made where the license plates are made, or maybe the owner of the vehicle drew it on there with a marker?
No,
or
that's what
something?
she asked. But no, it was an actual, it was
actually a thing?
pressed. It was
Okay.
pressed. So
I've
it
never
just
seen-
surprised
Did it
me
look
that,
like a new license plate, like brand new?
yeah, it was one of the, it was a state of Florida.
No, I mean like recently issued, like within
No,
the last
because
year.
Did
or
it
so.
say My Florida on it?
Oh, I don't know. We'll
It
go
was a
back and
regular-
find it.
It wasn't like the
Oh
specialty.
my God, you guys know how to take
for a
information.
That's no
cause.
fun.
It happened so quickly.
That's how I'm
But
looking
next
at
Next
it.
time
I mean,
we'll
I
make
just-
sure you're with us.
I've just never seen that on a state
Let's
of
take a
Florida
picture.
license plate. And
I never thought there would be intergender bathrooms in 2018 or whatever. So
Oh.
anything can happen. You know what I mean?
Right. You're absolutely
Okay,
right.
moving on to trivia.
Yes.
I didn't know this was going to be so controversial, Joy.
It ended up being.
So, in total,
Wow, you
56
came on
delegates signed the Declaration of Independence. How many signed it on the 4th of July, 1776?
None.
I think like 30. I think it was like that. 20 or 30.
Chris says none. Joy?
It was a holiday day.
Ah,
no one came to work.
Yeah, nobody in Washington works on a holiday.
God.
We all know that.
Well, it was in Philadelphia, but God.
Drew is actually very close. It was 34 delegates signed on the 4th of July, and the rest signed August 2nd
When they
or
got there.
soon thereafter.
They're on vacation.
Exactly.
Remember, it took like 12 days to get around the corner back in those days. So
Well, you had delegates coming from as far as Georgia, you know, in the middle of the summer.
Heat.
Yeah. So, do we want one more question?
Sure,
Give us another one. Yeah.
Okay. I had
Every bad people question.
the what?
Oh.
The Battle of Yorktown ended the American War of Independence. Which state did it take place in? Battle of Yorktown.
The Battle of Yorktown,
Virginia.
Say the question again.
No,
The Battle of Yorktown ended the American War of Independence. Which state did it take place in?
I think it's New York.
We got a Virginia vote. We have a New York vote.
Use that in a sentence, please.
Actually, these are not votes.
Can I phone a friend?
They're guesses. Not
Battle of Yorktown.
The origin.
The origin of the word.
My guess is as good as yours.
Use it in a sentence.
Do you get like answers like that when doing hosting trivia?
I do get random stuff sometimes when I have no clue, and I like it if they can make me laugh.
I say,
The answer,
perfect.
The answer is Virginia.
Congratulations.
Chris was correct.
He shoots, he scores.
All right.
I like playing our
How
game.
did you know that?
Oh, I'm getting stranded. It seemed like a likely place for a battle in that time frame, given the area that everybody was.
Yeah, because the whole
gravitating
thing.
towards.
Yeah, the whole thing was 3 states they were fighting in.
I mean,
Pennsylvania,
where
Virginia,
major
New York
battles
was-
have taken place.
Right, exactly.
history.
You're right. So we're ready to move on to odd
Yes,
news?
yes.
Siobhan's ready to jump in. You
Yeah,
got
I'm
good
waiting for you to
stories?
go.
I
You're
am.
first up.
Wait.
Oh no, I'm not waiting.
More
Go.
trivia,
Get
more
it special.
trivia, come on.
I've got it. So a Minnesota man saved what he thought was a stray kitten crying for help in a parking lot. When he brought the kitten home, he realized that it was actually a baby bobcat.
Oh,
I was gonna
I
guess
got
that.
a picture.
I saw the picture.
That was my
It's
guess.
so
Picture. He
cute.
looks like my macho. Oh, he's this little baby. Okay, so the man brought the feline to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center of Minnesota, and his suspicions were proven correct. It's a bobcat cub. The kitten appears to be in good health, but was dehydrated. The center said in a Facebook post, she'll spend a few days with us stabilizing, and then we'll transfer her to another rehabber who works with the bobcats.
Yeah, that hardly looks like a cat.
Oh, huh? He
That
looks.
hardly looks like a house cat.
Did you see it?
I'm looking at it right
Yeah,
now.
look at this kitten. He
Yeah,
looks
but
like
you can see how that would morph into a bobcat as it grows. Not so much a house cat. That
It
looks
looks like
more
my
like a,
macho.
no, more like a. Okay, as awesome as Macho may look, and I'm not knocking him or anything, this animal looks like something that should be in the wild, not a house cat.
I would take it.
right.
I'm sure
If you
you
seen it
would.
in a parking lot, wouldn't you?
I would take it.
You see in
I
the
would
parking lot.
too.
No.
It's pretty cute.
It
How-
is.
I'm
I
not
agree. Go ahead,
I'm not
Siobhan.
doubting its level of adorableness. I'm not.
What
I'm
is he
saying.
doing with it? Did he keep it?
No,
You're
it went
allowed
to it went to a rehabilitation
Oh,
center.
okay.
So they're gonna make sure it's back okay, and then they're gonna go ahead and give it to another
I
rehab.
was gonna say you can't release that thing into the wild. It's
Yeah,
too,
no, not anymore.
too civilized.
No, it looks like a cat.
So, if you are ready to get off of this planet, you can become a citizen of the nation of Asgardia, which hopes to colonize the moon. It was founded just 20 months ago and already has about 200,000 citizens, a constitution, and a parliament. The leader, Igor Asher Bailey, was inaugurated last Monday. It has great ambitions to build a population of 150 million within 10 years. It plans to set up space arcs with artificial gravity in outer space where humans can live permanently. Asgardia is named after Asgard, a world in the sky in Norse mythology. Its citizens live in more than 200 countries, outnumbering the United Nations 193 member states. And becoming a citizen online is free.
Let's do it, you guys.
I'm talking. This
Okay.
is. How do you spell Asgardia?
ASGAR. No, one S. ASGARDIA. Yes. So,
Drew, what are you writing down?
The website.
I'm on the website now.
You're gonna go
Dot
visit
com?
it?
Dot com?
Signing up when he gets home.
Let's go .com. Oh, I'm doing it right here.
Siobhan, I don't know. I look over and
They're writing it down.
Hey, ask
Glad I
Garlic
could bring you some.
like,
.com.
that
Is
was
what it is?
really helpful
What's the website?
information, huh?
Yeah.
So,
Gotta go.
the leader, Asher Bailey, said he intends to have satellites providing internet access around the globe in 5 to 7 years.
Oh, good.
Space arcs operating in 10 to 15 years.
Oh,
and
good.
finally, to establish a permanent settlement on the moon
Mhm.
within 25 years.
I'm out.
Like Drew legit is writing all this information
So-
down. Like,
Yeah, I'm going.
Drew
Back
thinks
when he
this
gets
is going to
home.
actually happen. So,
I'm going.
anyone else thinks they want to be
Let's go. Come on.
Let's do the show from up there.
yeah, you guys go for it. We'll do a show. You guys, I mean, if you want to go, I mean, we'll come
Yes.
for a
We'll
visit.
do a live remote. How
We'll come
about
for a
that?
visit.
Like
Oh,
two
yeah.
of us stay here, the two of us go, and then we
Let's
come
go.
back after the show.
No pollution, no trouble, no nothing.
We'll have to leave like 3 days
then
before
we'll
the show.
go and
though.
destroy
Yeah.
the moon too.
right?
No, they're gonna pollute it. They're gonna, it's gonna be
Yeah. That'll take time, but still.
They're not gonna build a wall. So other
Not
countries,
yet.
other countries are gonna invade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stay on your side of the moon.
Hey, Space Force. That's what it is. Space
That's
Force.
it, man. I'm in for Space Force.
Let's
You
go.
have you ever thought that we'd be talking about such a time where like there's so much movement towards outer space?
I thought we'd colonize Mars first. though.
You know?
But
I thought we'd
you
take
know.
care of this planet before we trash another one.
Well, we may have
unfortunately,
to.
that's the way
No,
it
they're
works.
making plans to trash like
Yeah.
not just one more. Like, hey,
Yeah,
let's just
2
go
more,
take
yeah.
one more. Like,
Hey,
we're
hey,
just like
they found a new
let's go
planet.
a
They're moving on to
few-
Saturn and stuff.
The
Yeah, they
planet
found a new
Mars.
planet.
Yeah.
They found a new planet, right? You heard that, right?
No.
No.
Yeah, the brand new one. We can go mess that one up too.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
It's great.
I'm saying. So moving on with odd news, a French man serving a 25-year prison sentence for murder has broken out of jail for the second time. Redouane Faïd was in the visitor's room at Roe Prison, which is located in a suburb of Paris, when a 3-man commando team landed in the courtyard and extracted him in a helicopter. Police said that nobody was injured or taken hostage during the brazen prison
I
raid.
can tell you who was on the helicopter.
Which lasted only 10 minutes. Authorities found the helicopter burned in about 40 miles from the prison. They believe that Faïd and his accomplices fled in a car. There is a massive manhunt underway looking for the notorious criminal. Faïd was the leader of a violent criminal gang in the 1990s until he was arrested in 1998. He served 10 years behind bars, but quickly found himself involved in criminal activities again. So he was convicted of murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison after he organized an armed robbery that resulted in death of a police officer in 2010. In 2013, he managed to escape prison by concealing a bomb inside of a pack of tissues. Police tracked him down 6 weeks later after hiding out in a hotel.
Listen,
Can I tell you who was on the helicopter real quick?
Hold on, let me get a picture of this helicopter up there. Go ahead.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the guy who played the villain on GoldenEye 006, the British guy. They all took this guy out of there. They landed there. All the perilous
I think
music
I
was
saw
playing.
this on
I was just gonna say,
Agent of
first,
Shield. I think it was an
yeah,
episode.
I'm thinking like James Bond. Imagine when you're in prison and you go out to the visitors area, and here comes your helicopter to extract you. And
On time, you're
we've
carrying your
got a
suitcase.
picture on Facebook Live of
You're carrying all your stuff with you. You're just walking out. You're not sneaks trying to stop you. You know what I mean?
But that's the way to do a prison break. Like I was watching Prison Break stuff on National Geographic and
Jiminy
Discovery ID all
We're not
weekend.
floating down in the South San Francisco Bay crab. We're
Instead of
going
it
on.
landing, which is pretty dramatic, I'd rather them just drop a rope and I just grab it and they take off while I'm like hanging from it as we're taking off.
That's
That's what I wanted. Just shooting at me while they're trying to knock me off the rope.
That's
But they let this guy go. I mean, this guy's obviously got connections. He's like
He's like John Gotti. He's like the John Gotti
He's
of
like El Chapo.
of
Guzman.
France.
You know, he's got connections. He's tied into the community. You know,
Most definitely.
there's more people that like
I
him
agree.
than trying to keep him locked up. So it's the second time he busted out of prison.
Second time. The first time, the first time he left a bomb inside of a pack of tissues.
God, where did he get the bomb? I just grabbed.
I don't know, but he was able to conceal a bomb inside of a pack of
Yeah,
tissues.
just make it with the supplies he had: his toothbrush and a razor and some things.
Right? Yeah.
And mouthwash for the accelerant. I mean, come on, what is this guy doing? Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Siobhan, what do you have?
Okay, so the mayor of Warren, Michigan, Jim Fouts, has a favor to ask people. If you see him jogging, don't bother him.
Yes.
Apparently, a woman barged into the mayor's office and was furious that he didn't stop to talk to her earlier. So he took to Facebook and explained that to keep his heart healthy, he has a cardio routine, one that ideally means not stopping on every block. He said he is really available to people 24/7, although that may be more like 23/7. So if you see him, don't stop him. He's got a
Why would you want to
keep.
mess up the exercise? I mean,
Well, he
he's
said
in a
that
routine, he's in a
but
rhythm.
he also says while he's exercising, he's using his phone, and that's when he does a lot of his work. Like, did you read that in the article?
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, I read another story because I was going to do that story, and then I changed it when I got the prison guy.
The prison guy?
The prison guy. My prison pen pal.
Yeah, this music was playing when he was walking.
Exactly.
He was walking to the chopper.
That's what I mean. When I was reading that story with him escaping the prison and the helicopter coming out, like my brain is going James Bond, and like there's just like
Mr. Bond. Yeah, right.
I'm just thinking though, with this mayor though, does he really like if he's jogging and someone stops like to say hi? Does he actually have to stop? Can't he just be like, "Hey," as he's
Think about it.
jogging by? Does he
Right.
have to
Well,
stop?
they're probably like in his face.
That's what that's what he was like. The one article I read, it was more that, and not only are they in his face, like I said, he said that when he's jogging, he looks pretty good for his age. However, if you read his history, he's a pretty scandalous type of dude.
Oh, is he like Rob Ford? Oh, come on.
He's like 70. There's even like
Come on, Rob Ford. Like Rob Ford?
accusations, like with an intern,
not
cheating
that
on his
bad.
wife, like stuff like that.
Close, though.
Like and
Maybe he should be jogging like in his house, like on a treadmill.
that's a good idea. But then some people like fresh air.
No, he can't ignore people from his house. You
Well,
know?
if he goes out, he's got to.
Like Rob, come on, like Rob Ford.
But
Rob
how
Ford.
do you feel when you're
friggin'
exercising?
there.
Yeah, but how do you feel when you're exercising? Like, don't you want to be somewhere else? And like when I get on the treadmill, my headphones go in, and I just go at it, and I'm somewhere else.
Listen, I'll be honest.
And I don't want no one talking to me.
Nobody's
I-
bothering me
he
when
wants
I
to stay
work out.
focused on his working out.
Nobody's bothering me while I'm on the treadmill. Or while I'm not on jog down the street. But I got my iPod on when I'm working out. I don't expect somebody to bother me, or want to say hi. I'm not the mayor of this town in Michigan.
So everyone's not running after you as you're jogging down the street, Chris
No,
Metal?
what did you think?
I did. That's what I thought.
Prior to what you may have heard, that does not happen.
I think they're chasing him. They're chasing him.
No. I can't run very fast, so they'll catch me.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we only have a couple minutes left. Do we have any more trivia questions?
Why are there no knock-knock jokes about America?
Oh, I thought she was being
Who's
something
there?
sarcastic. I didn't know this was a real question. I was like, whoa, I'm sorry, Siobhan.
It's actually a joke. It's actually a joke, Joy. But why are there no knock-knock jokes about America?
Why are there no knock-knock jokes about America?
I don't know. Could you say that again next to the mic? That'd be great.
Why are there no
Yeah, that's
knock-knock jokes about America?
Yes.
Why? Siobhan?
Because freedom rings.
Oh.
Ugh, let me see.
Wow. Okay, well, I got
I
a
like
cheesy
that
joke
one.
too then.
Oh, here it comes.
What? And if you know the answer, don't say. What do ducks like to smoke?
Oh, we did this one last
This
week.
is so funny.
I know what the answer
We're not
is.
supposed to answer?
Oh, well, go ahead.
What is the question again?
What do ducks like to smoke?
You're really getting into this I don't remember day.
It is. Today's I forgot day.
Huh? I forgot what.
The
Forgot what you just said.
The answer is quack.
That's not 4th of July related.
No, but it's filler for the end of the show.
Ducks are a huge part of America. They crap all over our sidewalks
And so is
every day.
Every plaza we shop in.
So is Quack.
Well, that's all
Quack
we
is one.
have for today. But we did have a great busy show today. It was our pre-4th of July celebration. Anybody have any special plans before we go?
Fireworks, beer, food, grill,
Not
pool.
That's about
die.
it. That's about
Not
it.
die. That's my goal.
That
That's
is
it.
a good goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buying my fireworks from a guy with an eye patch and 3 fingers.
That's it.
Name Lucky.
I consider the expert.
Name Lucky.
Name Lucky, exactly.
Well, we hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. So we'll be back here next week. Again, we had today a great show. We had Foreign Fresh on discussing his music and his future projects. Next week, we will officially have our Coleman moment. We were supposed to have it today. Some things happened. But again, we'll start that next week.
Okay.
Anybody
No
have anything
problem.
else to say? I need you guys to look at these cameras.
Look at these cameras.
Siobhan, say bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you next
Nice,
week.
lovely
Deuces.
footage.
July. Have fun. Be safe.
It is. Thanks
Be
for
safe.
listening, everybody. Again, you're listening to Now
See
Trending
you next
Live.
week.
Have a great
Watching
week.
Now Trending, too.
And yeah.
You are. People watch us. They do. Can you believe it?
Peace out.
It's just like how they run after you while you're jogging down the street.
Right. All these, fictitious people behind me. All these emojis.
Right. Well, have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.